What's up, guys? It is 6:45. Let me turn this music off. I thought the song was over, but it's not. What's going on, guys? It's 6:45 p.m. in Florida, and it is time for the long overdue supporter Q&A. So, if maybe you guys aren't familiar with the supporter Q&A, if you're just listening and you're not a supporter, every month I do a live stream just for supporters, monthly supporters of the channel, as a kind of a small thank you, a one-man show thank you. I can't do much, but I can say thanks. that sounded kind of creepy, didn't it? But yeah, where have I been? The first week of this month, I was in North Carolina in a cabin with my family. The second week of the month, I was in Wisconsin in a cabin on a compound with some friends for a bachelor party. And this past week, I was getting prepped and ready for my buddy's wedding that was over the weekend. So it's been a super busy week. Yeah, I'm kind of getting in the swing of things. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't done really a stream since, I guess, with Battlefront updates, because that was a little different, you know, I had somebody to bounce ideas off of. But yeah, whenever I go like a long stretch without doing a stream or making videos, it's kind of like I got to kick my ass back into gear and get going. But what's going on, guys? Psychotic, good to see you, man. Cladle Videos, Palp. Anybody else in the stream supporting? What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a fantastic week. So yeah, these live stream Q&As. I take questions from Patreon. The Patreon supporters, I just basically take a screenshot of all the questions, dump them into the old OBS overlay, and then I answer them as I go. And I get to chit chat a little bit with some of you guys. Let me see. I think I fixed the robot. Let me see if I fixed the robot echo. Let me see. Let's see, Starkiller. If the robot ever reads it. I just ate Psychotic. I guess Cladle, you're responding to Cladle. Where is the robot?
Hey, it's broken.
There we go.
Hey, it's broken. Finally got my leg onto the bed by myself. Progress. If Maul and Kenobi fight was copied in movie form, would you like that?
Starkiller, thank you so much for the super chat and the channel support, man. I greatly appreciate that. First super chat of the stream, and since you got that in early, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that before I get to the Patreon questions. But first of all, let me know if this music is a little too loud. I'm gonna keep the music going because I kind of, like, I get in my own head if I'm just sitting here with no sound, like no Battlefront gameplay audio or music, you know what I mean? Yeah. So Starkiller, thank you so much, man. Good to see you. Hey, it's Broken Femur Guy. Finally got my leg onto the bed by myself. Progress. If Maul and Kenobi fight was copied in movie form, would you like that? Are you talking about Clone Wars, Starkiller? Well, first of all, I'm glad to see you're making progress. Yeah, for the past couple streams, Starkiller has told everybody about his broken femur. Goddamn, dude, I still can't get over that. But if you're talking about Maul and Kenobi in the Clone Wars, I actually haven't gotten that far yet, man. I am halfway through the series as of right now with the chronological order. Yeah, I can't really comment on that, to tell you the truth. I have a feeling it's going to be coming up in a later arc than I'm probably on the later end of my chronological order list. But yeah. Everybody that can in the chat, can you say get well soon, Starkiller? Oh, you're talking about Rebels. It's kind of the same thing, Starkiller. I have only seen the first season of Rebels, actually. And the reason behind that is I finished the first season of Rebels, and I realized, oh, I should probably go back and watch the Clone Wars before I continue. Because, you know, the big reveal of the character at the end of Rebels, I was not familiar with whatsoever. So the whole reason I went to watch the Clone Wars was on A. William Aguilar's recommendation and the chronological order, and B, my desire to kind of fill myself in with a little more information before I, continued on with Rebels. So yeah. But yeah, I'm sure as soon as I see that fight, I want to tell everybody about it and my thoughts, But I appreciate that channel support, man, and get well soon, as the guys in the chat are saying. One dislike already. Yeah, it happens every live stream supporter Q&A. Some people just kind of get bent out of shape, right? But this, like, I literally do this 12 times a year, and I try to stream, like, every day or every other day. So 12 days out of 365 days, and some people just get bent out of shape. Some people are fucking silly, Cladle. But all right, guys, let's get to the first question. The first question from Patreon comes from Troy Williams. I'm interested in learning more about astronomy. What is the best thing to do for that? You know, for me, I always draw, like, well, you know, it's kind of hard for me to think about where to start if you're interested in astronomy. To tell you the truth, man, if you're looking for, how do I put this? I would start with, like, Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot. It is my favorite all-time book. It's called Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. And it's just kind of like, it goes into a little bit of astronomy, a little bit of the Apollo program, the space race, and it's an all-around, I honestly think it's like one of the more, you know, it's not really science-heavy. You don't have to have, like, a deep knowledge of these ideas to really understand it. It's more of, like, it's just a really inspiring book that will make you, I guess, kind of appreciate our circumstances. I guess that's a good way to say it. And I think if you're trying to get into astronomy, it's, for me, it's the closest thing I've ever had to almost like a, I guess you could say, like a, I don't know, like a religious feeling. Astronomy. Kind of studying the universe and stuff like that on a very basic level. Don't get me wrong, I'm a dummy. But it's always just been fascinating to me. So yeah, Troy, I would recommend Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot. If you're just looking for a kind of an interesting and fun and relatively easy read. Other than that, there's a shitload of documentaries, obviously. You could start with Carl Sagan's Cosmos, the series from the 80s, or Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos, but really what kind of drove me into my love for astronomy was my dad, 100%. Oh, one sec.
Met with my closest group of friends. Ate at Burger King and played almost passed out at one point. Face with tongue.
Nice, Raptark. Give me one sec, man. Give me one sec. But yeah, my love for astronomy really comes from my dad. Like, he always wants to talk science and space and all that kind of stuff. New stuff in the news. You know, he's had a lifelong interest in that. He gave me, like, all of his Carl Sagan books, and same thing goes with, like, space exploration. I am endlessly fascinated with the Apollo space program, Gemini, Mercury, everything that the United States has done. Basically, I wish I was more familiar with the Soviet era space program too. But I have a Yuri Gagarin biography that I've read a little bit of. I have a bad habit of starting books and stopping them. But yeah, it's kind of a goal of mine to kind of learn more about, you know, the Soviet side of the space race, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. You know, they were first for most things. It's just kind of interesting. But yeah, thanks for the cool question, Troy. Raptark, last Friday was my birthday. Well, happy belated birthday. Met with my closest group of friends, ate at Burger King, and played bowling. Almost passed out at one point. That sounds like a fun birthday. I haven't been bowling in years. But happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. So last Friday would have been, like, the 21st, last Friday. That was when my buddy got married. Nice. But happy birthday, man. My first job was actually Burger King, Raptark. My first ever job when I was 15. I worked at Burger King. I don't have much of a desire to go there again. Just because, like, dude, there's so many awesome options for food nowadays. Like, even Wendy's. Right? Sorry, guys. I still have a crazy cold. Oh, one sec.
Just got back from my birthday, man. I feel weekend, and man, I feel I gets back to the swing of it. I gets back to the swing of homework. College homework. Watching Greedo streamers.
Nice, Psychotic. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Give me one sec. Yeah, my first ever job was Burger King when I was 15, and I really don't have a desire to eat there anymore, just because, like, that, you know, it's not a secret, but they all come as just frozen patties, and you put it on, like, a conveyor belt. You just put it on a conveyor belt, and then for the next, like, 5 minutes, this conveyor belt slowly takes it over a little bit of flame, and then it just slides out the other side like some fucking like overly fed, milked up kid who's just like crashing. He's just like he's you know, crashing hard after a bunch of sugar, and he just slides down the slide. That's what the old Whopper patties reminded me of when I worked there. But happy birthday, Raptark. We had 2 birthdays. Psychotic just got back from my birthday / vacation weekend, and man, I feel whooped. Well, I guess back to the swing of things. College, homework, drawing my comic, and watching Greedo streams. Cheers. It's good to be back in the swing of things as well for me too. It's always nice to, you know, be busy with like fun stuff, but sometimes, you know, I was almost taken, my time was almost taken up for an entire month, and when you're like doing YouTube stuff and you're trying to keep up with things, and you know, it's a lot of your income comes from ad revenue, right? It's hard to like kind of stay on top of things, but I don't want to just pump out shit just to have shit, you know. I don't want my my uploads to just be littered with a bunch of nonsense that I schedule while I'm out of town. I don't know. But dude, happy birthday, man. And hope you're kicking some ass in college. Stick with it. Stick with it for sure. The next question comes from Owen Murator. If I were to give you $10,000, would you reveal your real name and face? This is purely hypothetical. I don't have all that money. I was just wondering how your privacy is worth. Love the channel. Keep up the good work. Owen, no, I don't. No, I wouldn't reveal my identity or face or anything like that. I want to do it on my own terms, you know. And if it ever comes down to it, the way I would like to do it, to tell you the truth, is at like Star Wars Celebration one year, or at some kind of fan meetup or convention, you know. I know a couple years ago, or no, was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. I know at like Dash Star, Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained, and Elliot from Battlefront Updates. There were a few other guys there, I think, too. But at Star Wars Celebration, they told everybody on Twitter, like, hey, meet us underneath the AT-AT if you're at Celebration. And then at the specified time, a bunch of their viewers came out, and they hung out and took some pictures, and it was such a cool thing, you know? I'm envious of that. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of sick of the helmet thing. As much as I like doing it, as much as it, you know, makes this channel a little unique, it makes things a little more difficult. And I feel like I'm kind of missing out on some fun, either panels or, you know, just interesting things to do, because I want to keep this this silly mystery alive. But yeah, one day, man, one day. But I want to do it on my own terms, Owen. But I appreciate the question. Grant says, never let him reveal his face. Always better to leave it up to the imagination. I guess so. I get it, I guess. I get it. I thought I was over this cold, man. Next question comes from Will Thompson. Favorite actor / actress and why? Mine might have to be Benedict Cumberbatch. He was amazing in Sherlock, his roles as Doctor Strange, Smaug, The Imitation Game, and more. He always owns the screen, and most importantly, he's just a great guy. Also has great impressions. Sorry I went on, I just love him as an actor so much. Also, who would you want in a Star Wars movie of your choice of plot? Who would you want? Oh, okay. Will, my favorite actor, that's, you know, whenever this question comes up, I have a really hard time answering it. There's a lot of actors and actresses that I really respect. God, I'm trying to think. I mean, Sam Rockwell has always been one of my favorite actors. I think he's so kind of just versatile with his abilities. I would love to see him in a Star Wars movie. That, and also like Cillian Murphy, or Killian. It's Killian, right? Cillian Murphy. I would love to see him in a Star Wars movie too. I've liked everything that he's been in, at least as an actor. Other than that, I mean, you gotta. One of my favorite actors is Tom Hanks. I mean, you know, you say Tom Hanks, and oh yeah, it's kind of an expected answer, right? But he's fantastic. I'm trying to think. Who is the guy who was on the O.J. Simpson like TV drama? What? And he's in like This Is Us. What's his name? He's one of the best actors I've seen in so long. O.J. Simpson show. Sterling K. Brown. He is so good. I mean, it's insane how good he is. Insane. I had never seen him in anything until that the O.J. Simpson show. So good, man. So good. Sorry, guys. I'm about to sneeze like crazy. But favorite actresses? I don't know. Like, Cate Blanchett is fantastic. Oh, man. Who plays Maw in Dread? She's great. Oh, she's in Game of Thrones, too. What's her name? She plays Cersei. Hedy. I don't know if I've ever heard her name pronounced, actually. But yeah, well, if I could have one actor in a Star Wars movie, or actress, I would probably go with Sam Rockwell. I would love to see Sam Rockwell in a Star Wars movie. I don't care what character he's playing. I think he would just mesh really well with the some of the quirky sides of Star Wars characters, you know? He would fit in really well. But, yeah, well, I appreciate the question. I hope I answered it. Oh, wrong way. I would love to see Bob Odenkirk in Star Wars. That would be yeah, I guess that would be an interesting little mashup there. The next question comes from Fred Campo. And, oh, alright. Can you guys hear me now? Alright, can you hear me? Let me know if you hear me. Take a little sip of the Coke. Okay, cool. You can hear me. Thanks, Beck. Appreciate that. Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened. I looked down and my OBS was red. That's never happened before. I've had the streams kind of cut out before, but I've never seen my OBS, like, kilobytes a second drop to 0. That's weird. So, yeah, I don't know what you heard me say last, but somebody who asked that. Was he the guy that did Moon? Yep, Cladle, he did Moon. Or he was in Moon, rather. Sam Rockwell. He was also in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He was in the Green Mile. Just really great. I've never actually had OBS do that back. That's really strange. The next question comes from Fred Campo. I love that pick. Hope you guys had a great time there. As for my question, Fred is talking about this picture that I posted along with my announcement of the Q&A and Patreon. It's of my dad taking a picture of the Milky Way, and I take a picture of my dad taking a picture of the Milky Way with the Milky Way in the background. Yeah, you can see the picture on Instagram if you scroll down a tiny bit on my Instagram feed. But cool, Fred, I appreciate that. As for my question, I would ask, what is your favorite memory from all the places you visited? Any crazy story or some fun day worth to remember? Keep being awesome, Greedo. Dude, probably my favorite memory from any place I've visited is out in Bryce Canyon with my wife when we did our Out West, like, national park tour. You know, I actually made a video about this, Fred. If you just Google, like, Hello Greedo, what is it? Hello Greedo, the Grand Circle, you'll see the video. But basically, me and my wife rented an RV for 10 days. We drove, what did it end up being? It ended up being like 1,400? No. Yeah, it was like almost 1,500 miles, I think, that we drove. Or 12,000? Or 1,200, I mean. Something like that. But basically, we drove a big circle through 6 national parks, and my favorite day on any trip is when me and my wife went to Bryce Canyon, and we did some hiking. It was like being on Mars, man. Just Google Bryce Canyon. It's beautiful. But we did this, like, long, I think it was like 6-mile hike, and we saw maybe 5 people on the entire hike, the entire day, and it was just so peaceful, so awesome. But yeah, Fred, if you haven't seen my video on the Grand Circle, definitely check it out. for sure. But I appreciate the question, man. Cladle, yeah, I have seen Villeneuve. Yeah, he did what's Blade Runner 2049, right? Let me see if I've seen anything else of his. Denis Villeneuve. Yep, I've seen Prisoners. I've seen Sicario. I've seen Blade Runner 2049. I've seen Arrival. I have not. Have I seen Enemy? No, I have not seen Enemy. And yeah, so I've seen his more recent stuff. Yeah. I need to see Enemy. Yeah. Oh, it's on Netflix. Nice. I'll have to check that out then. My wife's a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan. All right, next question comes from James Beveridge. Beveridge. Hey, Greedo, in your opinion, which region has the best barbecue? I kind of go back and forth between Carolina and Memphis style. Also, being in the Navy, are you an Old Bay seasoning type of guy? Or are you sick of it? Thanks again and keep on doing great things. No, I never got into Old Bay, man. I knew some guys that just season the shit out of everything with Old Bay. I was more of a Tabasco guy. Basically... Oh, did the music cut off? Hold on one sec. Order random. Let's go with this. Cool. Yeah, I never brought any Old Bay or anything like that with me on deployment. I was more of a Tabasco guy, hot sauce guy. So like, when kind of supplies ran down, like a week or two before we would go into port and resupply, we would have like rice and beans, a shitload, or rice and like just kind of roasted chicken, and we had that so much on the boat, but I would just douse it in Tabasco or hot sauce and stuff like that. But yeah, no, never got into Old Bay. Personally, for me, I prefer Carolina style, especially when it comes to barbecue sauces. I like kind of a mustardy Carolina style barbecue sauce. But yeah, I actually had a shitload of barbecue over the weekend at my buddy's wedding. Oh my god. And then he invited everybody to his house the day after to eat all of the leftover barbecue. And oh my god, I had like 15 pigs this weekend. Oh my god. But James, I appreciate the question, man. I can't even tell you what Old Bay tastes like, to tell you the truth. I can't even think of what it tastes like. Yeah. Two more dislikes. Whatever, man. It happens. It happens every video. It's kind of funny. I like to see, like, 15 seconds after I upload a video, it has like 3 dislikes. Nobody even watched it. People just don't like Hello Greedo. Those people have never even watched a Hello Greedo video. Oh well. Ricard, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Astronomy. Me and Ricard used to play a lot of games together. Before baby. But Ricard asks, what are your cameras / objective specs for astrophotography? What are your cameras? Well, I use a Canon 60D. It's the same camera that I use for my videos, and it's what I use for my photography projects and stuff like that too. Canon 60D. I usually use a 10x22 lens. It's a wide-angle lens, and I just, I usually just have it at the widest setting. I usually have an exposure of like 25 seconds. Because I've found that anything longer than 25, you kind of start to see a little bit of star streaks, a little bit of what do they call it, like star tracing or something like that. Yeah, which is a cool effect if you do it longer. It doesn't really. If you do it for like 35 seconds, it just kind of looks like the stars are blurry, right? They just look blurry. But if you do it for like 5 minutes, you might get a really cool like streak effect. That being said, ISO, I don't know if you're looking for specific settings, but ISO, it all depends, man. I usually bump it up pretty high. I mean, I'd have to look at the most latest pictures I've taken, but, and the thing is, your camera's digital. You could just, like, try every single setting while you're sitting out in the woods and give it a shot. But yeah, aperture all the way open. Exposure 25 seconds or so. And I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be very surprised the results you can get. It's relatively simple and easy, straightforward. The hardest part, Astro, is focusing. The hardest part is focusing. What I usually do is on the viewfinder or the LED screen, I usually digitally zoom in on the LED screen as far as I can. Not zoom with the lens, but zoom with the digital, you know, the little whatever, the LED screen, and find a star or a bright light that's distant, like a bright street light that's super far away, and I manually focus my camera, and then, you know, you've basically set for infinity if your lens doesn't have an infinity setting on it, if that makes sense. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, that's the hardest part. Dude, it's a lot easier. The hardest part is setup. The hardest part is finding something interesting in the foreground and getting a good time of the day and the year when the Milky Way is beautiful and like perfectly visible. And yeah, that's the hardest part. I mean, the easiest part is just setting up your camera to take a 25-second exposure and just pointing at the sky, right? But yeah, cool question though. Cool question. I've regretted a lot of times I've been out like in the woods, or even when we were out west. I regret not trying more kind of astrophotography. Yeah. Next question comes from Grant. What's the worst science fiction film you've ever seen? For me, it's a little movie called Space Mutiny. I'd be surprised if you ever heard about it. It's rubbish. Space Mutiny. I don't think I've ever heard of it, Grant. Let me see. 1988. A space hero puts down mutineers on a huge ship taking Earthlings to a far planet. That is the worst. Well, maybe it's the best description for the worst movie, but that is a fucking horrible description of a movie. A space hero puts down mutineers on a huge ship taking Earthlings to a far planet. Space Mutiny. What is the worst science fiction movie I've ever seen? I'm gonna have to consult the internet real quick. I'm just gonna look, see if anything. Grant, I have a tendency to just kind of forget shitty movies that I did not like. Let's see, Alien vs Predator. It's been so long since I've seen that. Bright, did not see that. I'm just looking at somebody else's list. Most of these I have not seen. Batman and Rob. No, what? Pixels? No, I didn't see Pixels. Oh, Transformers. God, I haven't really seen any of these. Zoom? What? I don't know, man. The worst science fiction movie that I've ever seen. God. To tell you the truth, I'm really drawing a blank. The movies that I mean, there's movies like Mars Attacks that I really love, but obviously it's silly and dumb and goofy, right? It's meant to be silly and dumb and goofy. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm looking at this list even. Wing Commander, I haven't seen that. Branded, never heard of it. Virus, never heard of it. The Lovers, never heard of it. Species 2. Let's see. Alright, what's number 1 on this shit? Battlefield Earth. I vaguely remember Battlefield Earth. Baby Geniuses, never heard of it. What? Yeah, weird. Do you guys do that? Like you forget about the shitty movies? It's just kind of a bad habit, Grant. I get questions like this sometimes, like, what's the worst movie you've ever seen? Well, it's hard for me to kind of recall the things that I've just kind of pushed out of my brain to make room for stuff that I want to think about. You know what I mean? But one of my least favorite movies, science fiction wise, God, man, I apologize, but one of my least favorite movies is Closer. It's like just a stupid ass, like, kind of romantic just not even romantic. It's just kind of like a movie about like relationships, and it just makes everybody feel like shit. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I appreciate the question, man. Something will dawn on me. Something will dawn on me for sure. And then I think of like Waterworld, right? Which, whatever. But I liked it as a kid, so I can't say it's the shittiest movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that I would consider really dumb and stupid nowadays that I liked as a kid, you know. GB, thank you so much for the silent support, man. The silent super chat donation. I greatly appreciate that, man. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there, or if you wanted to be the silent supporter. I appreciate it all the same. Yeah, Gary Kurtz, man. Sad stuff. Cancer for the past year. I wasn't even aware that he was suffering. Maybe it wasn't public knowledge, you know. But that's a shame. It's a shame. I did a Star Wars Profiles episode on Gary Kurtz. Yeah, a while ago, a couple years ago, maybe now. The next question comes from Psychotic. Hey Grudo, hope you and your family and life in general is going well. If you could make a Star Wars movie, what would it be about? What characters, existent or made up, would there be? And what would the plot be? Have a good day, and I love the vacation photos. Well, thanks, man. Let me take a little sip of the old Coke Zero Vanilla. All right, so, Psychotic. This is what I would love if, you know, I don't have any illusions that I would make a good Star Wars movie. I would make a shitty Star Wars movie. It would, yeah, all the angry fanboys would want my head because it would be so bad. So, I have no delusions of grandeur. I'm not one of the kind of guys to go on a tirade about how what the movie should have been like. But, that being said, if I could make a Star Wars movie, I would want it to be way, way back in time, way, way back in the past, where we explore the first people who discovered what the Force was, right? It would almost be like, you know, the discovery of gravity, or the discovery of, I don't know, the speed of sound, or, you know what I mean? Something tangible, something physical that you could discover. I would love to see a movie about the discovery of the Force, you know, before anybody knew anything about it. And then the movie would basically be about, you know, people trying to wield this newfound power. Some people would want to try to keep it hidden because it would be, you know, if it got into the wrong hands, it would be way too detrimental for everyone. Some people would want to spread it and democratize it and think that everybody deserves to know about this knowledge. And then some people would want to use it for their own personal gain. I think it would be a really interesting kind of movie about, yeah, the discovery of the Force and the splintering of the factions and ideologies. I think it would be a pretty cool idea, you know. But no characters that we're already familiar with, no hints of, you know, no Easter eggs, nothing like that. Just a straightforward discovery of the Force movie. Not a lot of, you know, very, very little on the mystical and magical, but a little more of the tangible, kind of like, I don't know, does that make sense? It's, in my head, it's a cool idea. In my head, it's a cool idea, but like, I can picture that idea going haywire and becoming like just a Force lightning shooting movie. You know what I mean? It would be like an overemphasis on the Force being a superpower. I could totally see that. But yeah, Psychotic. That's kind of like, you know, if I could pick a type of movie for Star Wars to make, that's kind of what I'm looking at, you know, because an idea like that is just so out there and different compared to something like Solo, right? Something that, you know, and I'm looking for something that's out there and different at the moment. Next question comes from Paul Robinson. Wow, that pic is just amazing. Once again, it's the picture that I posted. I don't know do I have it on here? I'll pull it up. Let me see if I have it on my computer still. Should still have it on here. I'd be very surprised if I did not. Weird. Let me see. Well, sorry guys, I'm looking for this. You ever, like, take a bunch of pictures and then forget what the fuck you named the file? That's me. Alright, I guess I don't have it on my computer. I have the raw files, I don't have the edited photo. Oh well. But yeah, the pictures of my dad taking a picture of the Milky Way, and me taking a picture of the Milky Way, of my dad taking a picture of the Milky Way. But yeah, Brett thing, so season's changing, and everyone is on the home stretch to a whole bunch of holidays. So, of the autumn and winter ones, which is your favorite? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. Hope all is grand with you and the family. Good to see you, Paul, and thanks for the question. My favorite is like, yeah, around things. I think my favorite's Thanksgiving. Because of the weather. I've never even discussed this with anybody, but maybe it's some kind of psychological thing, but all of my, like, best memories are in cooler weather. Does that make sense? Even memories of, like, playing video games. My favorite memories are cooler weather with the windows open. Does that make sense? It's like whenever I think about... Oh, one sec.
I just finished my panel of my second panel of my comment. We'll send it to you after stream. We'll send it maybe after stream. Got homework to do inside.
Nice, Psychotic. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Give me one sec. But yeah, Paul, I think Thanksgiving is my favorite. It's kind of smack dab in Halloween, in the middle of Halloween and Christmas. Christmas is always fun, but it's, you know, it's hectic. You know, we have multiple families now. We gotta kind of figure it out, where to go to, when to go to. But I think Thanksgiving is just a little more low key. You just eat a shitload, drink some, and land on the couch and play some cards with family. And also, it's just kind of like the perfect, in Florida, it's the perfect weather. It's just like not hot, not cold. It's just, I don't know. It's perfect. But I hope everything's going well with you, Paul. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I like. I think I have to go with Thanksgiving. Yeah, which. Yeah, you guys don't have. I mean, do you guys have a comparable holiday to Thanksgiving over there? I'm curious. And Psychotic. Hey, yo, I just finished my first stage of my second panel of my comic. We'll send it to you after my stream, maybe. Got homework to do and such. Nice, man. Yeah, homework. 100% homework. Knock that shit out. For me, like, if I was, like, drawing a comic or something like that, that would be my playtime. That would be my time to, like, put on some headphones and just enjoy. You know what I mean? Get in my own head. But yeah, man. Yeah, tweet it to me. 100%. 100%, I'll check it out. What kind of home... Well, you don't have to answer. But, yeah. That's one thing I do not miss, man. When I was in school, I need to finish school. I have, like, maybe 1 year left. I've been using the GI Bill on and off for, golly, like 7 years now. On and off. I just have 1 more year until I have my degree. Just need to knock it out. But, you know, things come up over the past 7 years here and there. Jobs and now a kid. And I'm just, you know, eventually I'll finish it, but, you know, just slowly but surely getting there. I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. Oh. As I blow out your eardrums. This stream is basically my free time to draw. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool. Justin Woods, as a fellow Jacksonville native, I totally concur with your cooler weather impressions. 100%, Justin. Yeah, it is too goddamn hot. We keep saying, like, Justin, we keep saying, yeah, let's take you know, our daughter to Mosh, right? Or Friendship Fountain. Let's go to the park or something like that. And then you step outside and you're already sweating, and it's miserable. It's miserable. Absolutely miserable. But yeah, next question comes from Mr. Ryan Harp. Let me scroll up a little bit. There we go. Hey, Greedo, hope everyone in your neck of the woods is doing well. Oh, I need to move this. Let me bring it closer to my eyes. All right, there we go. Hope everyone in your neck of the woods is doing well. I really love the picture. The cosmos definitely has its wonders. Anyway, here's my question for the month. In your recent audio post about Star Wars Resistance, I commented that Star Wars Resistance looks pretty good. Not great or mind-blowing, but just a silly kind of fun, Like you, I probably won't get into it. I mainly focus on the movies, including anthologies. Lots of people on the internet are just spoon-fed, idiotic morons who are entitled to everything. Oh, this is your post. Okay, I see. You had that in quotes. Are you going to give the show a chance despite the overwhelming negative reception, which is completely overblown? I know I will. Woo! That took a while to type. Yeah, overwhelming negative reception has never once deterred me from checking something out, man. I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks of a show, a movie, or whatever, especially before it even comes out, right? My go-to thought process on, overblown reception and negative reception rather, is my experience when it was announced that Heath Ledger was going to play the Joker, right? I don't know if you guys were on the internet back then, but holy goddamn shit. The Geeknet went ape shit. They were so pissed off. Heath Ledger, the guy from, what's that movie called? King? I can't remember. Legend? I don't know. But they were so pissed. And he ended up being the best comic book villain ever. So, yeah. This giant negative backlash towards anything, man, towards casting, towards a minute-long trailer. It's just dumb. It's like, it's not measured thinking. It's kind of just like it's a cycle, It's just like a fandom internet cycle. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. Like I've said, and like you said there, I don't know if I'll really get into it. I still have a lot of Clone Wars and Rebels to watch. I'm 100% going to give Resistance a chance. I hope it's good. It looks fun. It kind of reminds me of F-Zero. F-Zero meets like, I don't know, like meets A Scanner Darkly or Borderlands, with a little bit of kind of like Titan AE, I think it looks alright. I do not understand just the knee-jerk reaction to dislike something off of a minute-long trailer that, I think it looks fun, I don't get it. Well, yeah, negativity sells, and negativity, I don't know. People thought the Clone Wars was going to suck when it was first announced that there was going to be a Star Wars animated show. A Star Wars animated show for kids? What? What are they talking about? They're really going to make a Star Wars animated show for kids? And the Clone Wars is awesome. Dumb. Thoughts on Joaquin Phoenix as Joker? Cladle. I think he's perfect for the role. As soon as I heard that announced, 2 thumbs up. Yeah. We'll see how the movie is, but I think every movie that I've seen him in is fantastic. Even the, what was that like spoof Joaquin Phoenix movie where he like lost his fucking mind? Now I'm figuring out how to spell his name. There we go. What was that movie called? Oh yeah, The Master was great. What was that movie called? No, not her. Came out a couple years ago. What is this? He plays himself. Himself. I'm still here. Yeah. Somebody say that in the chat. Let me see. No. It's called I'm Still Here. And it documents Joaquin Phoenix transition from the acting world to a career of an aspiring rapper. And it's like it's like a fake documentary. It's like a comedy. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's one of those kind of like awkward movies where It's like an Andy. He's trying to be Andy Kaufman, I think. Kind of like, you know, he's playing this character of himself, super outlandish. I mean, it's worth a watch. It's just really awkward movie. Really awkward movie. But yeah. Can you read my earlier question? Where are we looking? Hey, supporters, who are your favorite Breaking Bad characters? Is that the question? Gus, was that the owner of the chicken place, right? Polio? He was always one of my favorite characters. He's like just no nonsense, just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Just like evil, but in it for the money. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah. Earlier question. Pollo, right? I don't see. Did you ask a question? Well, repost the question here. Yeah, repost the question here. Just now. Next question comes from Moth Meta. Did I already scroll down? Did I miss one? Let me see. My wife's probably put my daughter to sleep. I probably have to be a little quieter. Alright, there we go. Next question comes from Moth Meta. Let's say NASA has funding for a new Voyager mission, and they are creating a new golden record. They ask you, Hello Greedo, to contribute 3 things/items. What 3 things from human history, recent or not, would you include? Hope all is well, man. That is tough. So 3 tangible physical things, items to put in there. Man. I wouldn't want anything too complicated or too simple. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of tools, right? I'm thinking of something like a lighter, even. Like a lighter, and then maybe like a laptop or computer components, you know? And then, I don't know, man. I'm thinking a little too... I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of tools, you know? Maybe something... How about this? How about something that kind of... So I have 3 items to pick. How about something that chronological, or like... I don't know, tells a story of humanity. You could go with, like a flint, starting a fire, and then you could go to... Oh man, that's way too tough, man. How about a laptop with a CD, with just a bunch of visuals of Earth? I don't know. That's too tough. That's really too tough. See, what's nice about the golden record is that they could fit things on it, you know? Images, they could fit. It's like, yeah. Okay, music, all that kind of stuff. Sounds of nature. Humans saying hello in dozens of languages. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm thinking way too hard on this, Moth. I think you know where I was going with it, though, right? I just can't think off the top of my head. But, like, tools, maybe. Like a lighter. And then something a little more advanced. And then, like, a CPU. You know? I don't know. Something just kind of like... Yeah, that's what they should send out instead of like a golden record nowadays. Send out like a laptop. Just you hit the start button and then it just plays a movie of everything on Earth. It'd be kind of neat, you know? Yeah. The next question. Oh, AT chat. Greedo, have any of those anti-Disney channels asked you to debate the films, etc.? Seems like they're always poking around in the comments. I haven't looked at my comments in a long time. I had one guy. What was his name? I had one guy. He's not. I wouldn't call him anti-Disney or anything like that. I think he does like film analysis or some kind of. I don't know. He analyzes movies and stuff like that. I've never watched one of his videos. My buddy likes his videos, though. I can't remember his fucking name, though. But no, for the most part, I don't really hear from anybody, which is fine. You know, like AT. I don't want to debate. I'm a fucking 32-year-old man. I just like what I like, and I give my honest opinion about things. I honestly don't give a shit what anybody... It's fun to discuss the movies, but to, like... to call something a debate as if we're going to debate economics, to me, it's just silly. It's fun to discuss these movies in a fun atmosphere, you know? Like, I was on a Rogue Squadron podcast yesterday and had a blast. I drank some beers. We shot the shit. We disagreed about Solo and Rogue One and stuff like that. But it's fun. It's just kind of a friendly thing, you know? But the idea of, like, trying to outwit one another with our knowledge of film, I don't have the fucking time or the desire. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe back in 2011 when I first started this channel and I was a little more of a different dude, but I don't know. Whatever. I'll watch what I like, make videos on what I like, do some live streams. Ain't nobody got time for that. I just made the mistake of putting ice in my mouth on a live stream, which is probably the most annoying thing for you guys. Yeah, I didn't think about how that would sound, putting some ice in my mouth on a live stream. I apologize. Yeah, people treat it like an official debate that could change lives. Yeah, it's weird. Like, people, I sometimes I'll get tweets and stuff like that. Are you scared to talk to so-and-so? I'm like, what? I don't have fucking time or the desire. Like, fuck, there's 1,000 other people doing what I'm doing on YouTube. Go talk to them with your ideas. Cool. You know what I mean? Cool. Next question comes from the movie critic dude. Hey HG, really enjoying your Clone Wars videos so far, as it's so exciting that you're just so close to the Umbara arc that's coming very soon. For my question, do you plan on seeing the upcoming Venom movie, and do you think it'll be set in the same universe as the MCU? Second part of your question, I would say yes, right? Right? Let me look this up. Am I completely wrong about what this movie is going to be like? Oh, I typed Vencom. What the fuck is a Vencom? Huh. Okay. Is it not going to be set in the MCU? In association with Marvel. Okay, Marvel. Yeah, Sony's Marvel Universe. Adjacent to the Marvel. Adjunct. Oh. Interesting. So, it is intended to be the first film in Sony's Marvel Universe. So it's like, it's not necessarily, huh. I guess it's kind of connected, but it's, interesting. I'm assuming that we won't see any of the MCU actors in the Sony Marvel universe. That's really strange. I had no idea that it was going to be its own kind of, like, entity. That's interesting. Movie critic dude, to answer your question, I'm sure eventually I will. I actually just watched this the trailer yesterday for the first time, and I didn't think it looked that great. It looked like something that I wouldn't really get into or want to watch, which is a bummer, you know. But it just kind of, like, the overall, you know, I'm kind of superheroed out. But yeah, I mean, did you guys think that Venom, the trailer, looked good? To me, it didn't really look like something I would really get into, you know? The animation looked super weird, and I don't know. Probably won't end up seeing it, to tell you the truth, man. I still haven't seen, like, Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Batman vs Superman, which my buddy, Superman is my all-time favorite superhero, and same with my buddy. And he told me, every time I bring up Batman vs Superman, he says, or every time I bring up Batman versus Superman and I tell him that I still want to see it, he immediately says, don't see it. You don't need to see it. And I always laugh. But yeah. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, man. I feel like I'm in a swaggy elevator. Nice. Not really into it because of Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. He was... I'm trying to think of a movie that I've seen him in that I didn't really like him in. I've pretty much liked him in everything that I've seen him in. Even Dunkirk. I need to rewatch that. I love Dunkirk. Bought it in 4K. I thought he was great in that, even, you know. The trailer looks smack dab between decent and horrid. It could go either way. Yeah. I just kind of sat there like with a weird look on my face, like, what the fuck am I? What is this? What am I watching? I don't know. I did watch the teaser trailer for Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, which was pretty neat. It was pretty cool. Well done. Little projection on his face. Or yeah. Next question comes from Jason96. A bit late to the party, so I don't have much of a question this time around. Just booked a holiday over the New Year period to Edinburgh. So in that spirit, my question, do you have any more trips planned / booked currently? Or are you planning it by ear since you have a young daughter? Also, just want to pass on my well wishes for you and the family and hope everything is good on your end. Hopefully I'll catch the stream whenever it goes out. Keep doing what you're doing. Love your work as always. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the kind words. No, we don't really have any trips planned or booked right now. Me and my wife are looking to go or rent a cabin in January somewhere up in North Georgia. That's really about it. We would take my daughter with us and we would just kind of like, I don't know, go do some hikes with my daughter. We have like a carrier case, like a kind of a, not a case, but like a carrier. What do you call it? I guess a carrier. It's something like a backpack, right? But it goes on. She like sits in your front. So we've done some hikes with her like in that carrier, and that's really the only kind of trip we're thinking about right now. Yeah, we would basically book a cabin and just kind of hang out there, do some hikes, walk through the snow, maybe go to like Helen, Georgia, something like that. Have some beers, have my daughter touch snow, not that she would remember it, but see snow for the first time. And that's pretty much about it. Yeah. Other than that, like far future long distance trip plans, man, we're hoping to go to Denali National Park, which is up in Alaska. That's kind of what we're thinking as our next big trip. We always like to do like national park trips, do some hiking and stuff like that, and we've never been up to Alaska. So our big like idea for a Denali trip would be to like fly up to Alaska, maybe rent an RV, and then kind of camp out in the RV at Denali for like 10 days, Be pretty cool. But yeah, I appreciate that question, man. And have fun on your trip over the New Year period. That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty much like every trip that we want to do moving forward has something to do with a national park or, hikes or scenery and stuff like that. We went to London. It was awesome. I would love to go to more European cities. But I would rather, I think moving forward, I would rather go to either scenic in terms of nature places, or historic places that I have an interest in. I would love to do like a train tour around Europe of World War II sites. It'd be interesting to me. And I would like to go. I was in Costa Rica when I was on deployment. I would love to go back to Costa Rica and actually kind of explore the rainforest. My buddy actually was in Costa Rica last year, I think, him and his wife, and they stayed in a resort that you could only get to by whitewater rafting. So you had to raft down, like the rapids with your shit packed on the back of this raft to get to. Once you get to the resort, there's no electricity, but there's like every hut has its own like infinity pool and just look gorgeous, man. I'd love to do that, but yeah. Anyway, Anyway, Dunkirk is amazing, but the weird accent he puts on makes it hard to understand. AT chat. Yeah, he's hard to pin down, and to tell you the truth, I don't know where he's from. I don't know if I've ever heard Tom Hardy not in a movie. Let's see where is he from. Let's see. Oh, he's from the UK. He's from London. Okay. All right. I could have guessed that. Wait, he was in Nemesis? International exposure. A clone of USS Enterprise Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and I did not know that. What? Tom Hardy played a clone of Picard? Dude, I had no idea that this was Tom Hardy. I've seen Nemesis. I had no idea that this was Tom Hardy. That's crazy. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. That's cool. Huh. Yeah, he's hard to pin down as an actor, like where he's from, his accent. I think he's relatively good at accents, and he's relatively good at like the dude who's not that great at talking, so you can't really pinpoint down his accent, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, he was Bane Psychotic, yep. He was a bad guy in the Star Trek movie. I think it was one of his first movies. Maybe his first, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, 2002, man. Let's see. I'm going to look up Tom Hardy. We're going to educate ourselves on the Tom Hardy IMDb here, man. Let's see. Tom Hardy IMDb. Let's see what his first gig was. Oh, yeah, Mad Max Fury Road. He's been in so much. All right. Now, his first... What? He was in Black Hawk Down? So Black Hawk Down was actually his first, like, feature-length film, but let's see. Tom Hardy. Wow. And it's hard for me to think that Black Hawk Down came out in 2001. That's insane. Huh. Wow. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Twombly. That's crazy, man. I need to watch that movie again. Layer Cake. He's been in a lot more than I thought that he'd been in. Huh. Wow. Crazy. What's your favorite Star Trek movie before the reboot? Golly. I have a soft spot for First Contact. I think First Contact, I don't know what the general consensus is out there with First Contact, but I think it's one of the best Star Trek movies, you know? Let me see. Wow, First Contact has a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. I did not expect to see that. I thought people would trash it like they trash all the other Star Trek movies. Yeah. I mean, obviously Wrath of Khan and all that stuff I'd like. But yeah, I have like a really soft spot for First Contact. I think it's really well done. I like how the Borg were handled. I like how that movie was handled. It's a little more, yeah, and I like the whole kind of primitive man, primitive, right? We say primitive now, but in terms of like where the Picard generation was at, you know, the humans that they go back and kind of pal around with when they discover light speed, they're pretty primitive humans compared to, you know, Starfleet and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoy First Contact. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that was an hour and 7 minutes. Not that I was on a time restraint, but I'm all out of Patreon questions. And my daughter's asleep, and I'm gonna go have some fucking butter pecan ice cream. How about that? So my goal is tomorrow to do a live stream, Battlefront live stream for an hour. I'll probably do that around 7:30. We'll see, maybe 7. Probably a little later than tonight. But yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow to finish my my Star Wars Science Lightspeed video. I've been working on that for a month now, and well, I finished half of it. It's already done, recorded, rendered, everything's done with the first half of it, and then I was making the second half like a month ago before I went out of town. And I'm trying to just, you know, I have the script written, I just need to record it and edit it together. But yeah, crazy. Yeah, time does fly, man. Time flies, both like short term and long term. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah, I think kind of my benchmark for time is like I went to boot camp in 2007. That was 11 years ago. That is hard for me to think about, and it's even harder for me to think about that if I would have stayed in. I would have only had 9 more years until retirement, which now looking back at those 11 years that have already passed, 9 years feels like nothing. Time certainly flies, but and it gets faster as you get older, so cherish it. Cherish it. Alright guys, I gotta get going, but Psychotic, GB, Raptark, Starkiller, thank you all for today's super chat donations on this Q&A, supporter Q&A, and I appreciate all the questions that you guys threw at me on Patreon. If you guys watching that, you know, aren't supporters, basically every month I do a live stream for supporters, and supporters can hop in and out of the chat as they please, and people that support me on Patreon ask their questions on Patreon, and as you can see from the screen, I take a screenshot of all their questions and read them out. But yeah, if you want to, just like $1 a month to support, you know, somebody that you watch on YouTube, not just me, but you know, there's a lot of creators out there, and as the advertising kind of model dies down, I think kind of crowdfunding in a way creators is probably the future, you know. But alright guys, I gotta get going, and I hope you enjoyed this live stream. As always, enjoy the music, and I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm gonna change the song. I just want to hear a song. I want to hear a specific song. Alright guys, see ya.